Welcome to the Biz Gone Social podcast. We help entrepreneurs navigate how to get known, get customers, and get the edge over their competition. Here is your host, Lorraine Duncan.
So here we are on the Biz Gone Social podcast, and I'm so glad to be here. And my promise to you, as always, is I want to give you a little bit of verbal caffeine that's going to energize your business and help you stay social. Because after all, don't you want to be the business that everyone's talking about? I know I do. And I'm really stoked today to have an expert at marketing, Emanuel Rose. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. I'm glad to have the conversation with you.
So tell me a little bit about who you are, what your business is, and who you serve.
Well, let's see. I'm a human that enjoys being outside in the wilderness, and I fell into sales and marketing just as being the kind of gregarious, outgoing guy, and the rest of the people on the team didn't want to do it. So that was kind of the beginning of my sales and marketing career, and over the years, I've trained myself up by seminars and massive amounts of reading and lots of experience in B2B marketing. I started out in clothing manufacturing, and then over the years have done a tremendous amount of health and fitness marketing as well, direct to consumer. And so my team works in both B2B and B2C. Yeah.
Nice. And what are some trends that you're seeing, maybe a couple that businesses should be aware of today?
I think, the thing that we really have to continue to embrace is that digital is our first kind of toehold, and that we got to pay attention to website, to blogging, and to video. And that we got to embrace the CEO or the manager of the business as the primary influencer. And the simplest way to do that is with video. Have that person capture video a couple times a month, and then push that over to the marketing department.
Yeah. Now I heard you mention blogging. Does blogging still produce sales, or what's your thoughts on blogging?
I think it's still multifaceted in the value of blogging. Obviously we're still getting SEO value from it. It gives us content for the email marketing, and then also it creates the repository for social media posting too. So it's not as robust a direct one-to-one with sales as it used to be, but it has the value of providing space for self-education for consumers, and we know that's critical, as well as those other factors.
If you were going to look into your crystal ball, what do you see on the horizon for marketing services?
Well, I think we're going to continue to get more immediate, right? And so already we know that the attention span is like less than a goldfish. A goldfish is 6 seconds. Our average consumer is about 2.6 seconds. So we've got to find some way to solve that immediacy problem and provide the best, clearest information as quickly as possible to have an advantage. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to be entertaining in a way that's still coherent with your brand. Just because we're with the AI tools that are out there, we're all going to experience a 25x flood, and we haven't quite gotten that much, but it's starting. And then the brand provides authentic views into who they are and what they're about and how they do their business. And I think that authentic view is going to be a major differentiator in the coming decade for sure.
Absolutely. So we have a strange group of people out there that are maybe a little difficult to market to, is those Generation Z people.
Yeah.
How do you market to a Generation Z person?
Yeah, they're an interesting group. Well, number one, obviously they grew up, they're the first truly digital natives. And so they're able to sniff out and sort things out online quicker than anybody who's lived. So that's kind of that reason why I say digital first is still the mandate, because it's 68 million consumers in the US, and they're just coming to age. The oldest ones are about 26, 27. So they're buying houses, they're having families, they're just the beginning of that wave. They are also the most diverse ethnically group of Americans. So almost half of them are some kind of mixed race or biracial. So that is a very important thing to them, and our marketing needs to reflect that, and that we need to have visuals that capture that situation. And then we have to look at the kind of the icons of their generation, the brands that are the icons. And I look at Kylie Jenner and I just say, hey, here's a young woman who's in that generation, who's a billionaire, and she did it by inviting people into her bathroom while she's putting makeup on. And that level of transparency and product viewing is what we should aspire to, so that these young people can get a sense of who we are as a person and as a company.
Yeah. And it's funny. I was sitting in the doctor's office a couple of weeks ago, and there was this, I want to call him a kid because I'm so old now, but all they were doing is consuming TikToks, and what those TikToks are doing, and they're laughing. I've gone down that rabbit trail too, but they're laughing at things that really resonate with them. And I really love the TikTok movement because it's very short, and they're either showing you how to do something. I have a friend who actually swears by it and buys everything for TikTok. It's hysterical. But I kind of see that generation of you're right. I didn't even think about this. I mean, there wasn't even cell phones and computers when I was going to school. Like literally in high school, I took manual keyboarding with manual typing on a typewriter. That you had to put that piece of white thing there that if you made a mistake, it was a disaster. Now all I have to do is hit delete. I love it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there that, are doing their own marketing and they're doing it really badly. And maybe it's the time that they're going to delegate it. How do you pick a marketing staff or hire an agency? What are some key things that we should be aware of?
Well, that's a great question. And we go through this a lot, too. The first thing, if you're a solopreneur or a small business and you're looking to hire staff, is to realize that a marketing department really is a multifaceted organization inside your business. So you have to have copywriting, you have to have digital design, you have to have paper design, and you have to have somebody who's going to strategize all that for you and connect it all up. And so it's really difficult to find a single person who can do all the things that are required in marketing at this time in history. So that's the first thing, which is that you're going to still outsource some things, even if you have an in-house graphic designer, an in-house digital designer for your website. So keep that in mind. When you're trying to hire an agency, the focus is really on what your objectives are versus what they've been able to create in the past. And, in the old days, there were, you could get away with hiring a branding company, and they would do your branding and they do your website. And then you could have your sales team and a few people kind of fudge it on the inside. But now you need more of a multifaceted agency that can take over a majority of it, but still include your internal resources. So it's really just about finding a group that is that matches the part of your team that they're going to interface with and can meet some objectives of yours, which is probably lead generation as well as social media marketing and probably pay-per-click.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm going to switch gears. This is the part of the show where we get a little real. What do you love most about being in business for yourself?
Well, the flexibility and the freedom, right? That I get up every day at 3:45. I work until 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, and then I have the afternoons to play golf or go fishing or take time to read or exercise. So that flexibility is really the best part.
Now, a lot of people always look at the glamour of owning your own business. And, my friends will go, "Oh, that's so cool." And we both know that there's many challenges. What is probably one of the challenges that you have faced most as an entrepreneur?
Is finding the clients that are a match for what my team can do. And I one time I chased a prospect for 6 years, and then 2 weeks into the project I fired him.
Wow.
So, it's that ideal client profile, the ICP that we always talk about. It's like there's whatever that checkbox is, but then there's also how those people operate, and if they're micromanaging or overly detail oriented or not able to approve things, that has to be fit into the ICP also, which I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, it's hard, especially like what I do with digital marketing. I can't have the time of waiting for somebody to approve something. So they just have to trust me. And it's when somebody starts micromanaging you, that's really, really hard. It's actually scary.
Yeah, right.
Like if I wanted a mother,
Well, no, and it's disconnect that they're bringing in their accounting background or their engineering background into a discipline that is 70% art and 30% discipline, right?
Yeah, and it's all a matter of onboarding too. Like I educate. I used to I couldn't figure out why people were getting so upset with me, and then I realized I had to actually educate them on exactly what social media marketing is, how it works, and what I can do. And that has, since I started the whole onboarding process with a client, it's gone 100% better. And
nice.
I wouldn't even look back.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you this. If there was one piece of advice that you can give somebody out there who's a business owner, what would that be?
Shoot 90 seconds of video every Monday morning about a success story or your favorite client or your favorite staff person or something that happened, and work on publishing that through the variety of social media channels out there.
I absolutely love that. So because you mentioned in Why You Love Being an Entrepreneur, you read, what is your favorite book, business book?
Oh, favorite business book? That's a great question. Let's see. I love all the work that Jay Abraham did. He was a big influence of mine as a beginning marketer. I love Anthony Iannarino on the sales side. So those would be the two tracks of my favorite for sure.
Awesome. And if somebody resonated with you today and needs to get in touch with you and needs some help, how would they get in touch with you?
You can find my information at EmanuelRose.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for being such a great guest on my show today. And until next week, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Biz Gone Social podcast. Find us on Instagram at Biz Gone Social for extra tips. Check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, stay social.